Hello everybody. Hello to all my friends in Sayville. It's been such a long time. Maybe even like January, February. So good to be back, at least virtually for now. Peter, thank you. You're the second library I ever worked with on Long Island. Hampton Bays was first, Sayville, and then it was Bayport Blue Point. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's been about 8 years, I guess, huh? Wow. So, I guess we're doing good together. I guess we get along, right? So, it's been really good. Thank you, Peter. Yes, Chris.
Peter said hi, Rob. Emily said hello. Rosemary said hello. Patty said hi, Chef Rob. Al said hi, Rob. And Emily said I love pork.
Wow. Everybody, hello, Rob. And one loves pork. Okay. Thank you, Emily. How are you? Thank you, everybody. Miss you all. I hope to give you a nice class and something that you can make for dinner soon. First thing I have to do, though, I have to take some spaghetti squash, and I want to cook this in the microwave for about 12 to 15 minutes. I'm just going to steam it, okay? It's just one way that you could do this. So the spaghetti squash, always make sure you scrub the outside of it, because then you may be scooping the seeds out on the inside. You don't want the outside going on the inside, right? So just take the spaghetti squash. Just be careful when you deal with these squashes, because you don't want to cut your hands. So I am just going to cut this right down the middle and just kind of roll it. See, it's a little tough. And then what we do, just scoop out these seeds right here. While I'm scooping these out, I'm just going to tell you, we're going to put this in some water, and then we're going to cover it with some saran wrap. Put it in the micro and just kind of steam it. And then if you ever dealt with spaghetti squash, you will know all the spaghetti just started pouring out. Okay, so really, really easy. Spaghetti squash, not a tremendous amount of flavor, but that's why you can always dress it up a little something. And using this with like a little bit of a scaloppini sauce, which is kind of like a piccata sauce, will give it some nice flavor and texture. And you don't have to worry about any carbs, okay? No carbs with this. So, really good. Get all these seeds out from the inside. And everybody, my son Chris does my filming every day, every single day, sometimes during the day too. So if you have any questions, just let him know, okay? All right, got them all out. And now let me just do this last one here. I'll run over to the microwave, put it in there, and then we will work on the pork. This is a really tasty dish. It has a lot of color. Fall dishes, you always want a lot of color with it too. So since I haven't really done anything for Sayville since probably a while now, we did a few YouTube videos, but haven't had anything live, so I'll tell you everything I've been doing. Just gonna, again, put this in some water just like this. I'm actually just I'm gonna cook the half, make it easy. I will cook the other one later. Always put the wrap on top of it, and then put it in the microwave, 12 to 15 minutes. You can always put this into the oven, okay, and just kind of put it face down. Probably take about 30-35 minutes. And then what you do, just take a fork and just kind of scrape it out into the strands. Chris, let me just throw this in the microwave because this takes a little bit. And then Chris says we have a question. Okay. 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 Yes, Chris. Give me the question.
Barbara said, I've never seen it cut like that. It comes out like spaghetti that way as well?
It will. Absolutely. Yes. You can cut it the other way, but for when you're microwaving it and you're putting it in that bowl with the water, it comes out nice and a little easier to kind of, you got to have a huge bowl and a big microwave, okay? So, okay, I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil into this pan here. I turn on my burner here. These are the portable burners that I always bring to the libraries all the time. I like setting it up. I set it up in my dining room because I feel then you could see everything really, really nicely like this, okay? So I have little convection ovens, everything. Just gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil on here. Turn that up. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start doing the pork. The pork tenderloin, it's almost like the filet mignon of pork. I like to put this in the freezer for about 20 minutes to a half hour before I kind of doing the class or having dinner, because this way it has a little frost on it and it's nice and easy to take what they call silver skin on the outside of this. You can peel some of this, but you won't get it all. But you do want to have all of this skin off because it is very, very tough and will make the meat very tough, okay? Some of the cheapest places to buy the pork tenderloin is the clubs, because the clubs, a lot of times like about $2.49 a pound, and you get like 4 of them in a pack, 4 of these tubes, and it usually works out to about $15, $16. So you can feed a lot of people for that too. Got a question, Chris?
Nope, don't see any.
Okay. All right, just gonna take that off. Now, again, going back to Sayville, it started there about 8 years ago. We started with about 10, 12 people, and now we do probably close to 40 people at the library there. And I can't wait to get back up there. I love that little stage you guys have up there. That is the best. That is great. Always treated good. Always set up for me when I get there. So organized, you guys in Sayville. And Jen, the director, I've known you since probably about 7 years. Always a pleasure to work with you. Worked with you at West Islip, worked with you at Cutchogue, and now your home library, Sayville, where, you know, I know you love. So what I'm going to do, see there's no fat left on this right here? Okay, this is a beautiful piece of meat. I am just going to cut this into some small medallions, just like this. Okay, I'll keep cutting these. Chris, you got a question you saying?
Pro Friend said, welcome back, how was your vacation? And the Sayville Library said, we love Chef Rob.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. So you have to be talking about Chris, about his vacation. He went to Vermont about 2 weeks ago. But Pro Fan, if you're talking about mine, I leave Saturday after a class. So I haven't gone yet, so I'll let you know. Going to Vermont. Chris is going to watch the fort. Chris is going to do programs for me while I'm gone. No, I'm only
Yeah, I'll
kidding.
do peanut butter and jelly.
Only kidding. Okay, so what I want to do is take this pork, okay? Now I just want to pound it out just a little bit. You can use pork chops, okay? And use it. You can do the pork tenderloin as well. And this goes pretty quick, so that's why you get the oil heating up right now, and then you start working on the pork. But if you don't think you could trim the pork that quick, don't heat up that oil yet, because you don't want it to be smoky at all. Make sure it's pretty much evenly pounded out as well, okay? If it has any of the regular fat on there, not that silver skin, the regular fat will just kind of cook off and have a little flavor to it. Now pork does not have a lot of flavor, so that's why you got to kind of sauce it up a lot. Pork can be pretty boring by itself. When you're doing pork chops on a barbecue, you want to cook it on a low heat. If you cook it on a high heat, they're going to dry out pretty quickly, okay? So I am just going to take a little bit of fresh ground black pepper, put it right on this pork right here, and then just a little bit of kosher salt. Just give it a little dusting of it. About a 1/4 teaspoon is all you really need. And now let's just put this in here. It's pretty thin, so it's going to cook pretty quick, so a couple minutes on each side. So I think the next class that we're going to do at your library, it's actually a grab and go class. So most likely for just the Sayville residents, but you can always, of course, watch. We're going to do pumpkin pie scones. Now, from what I'm hearing, there is a huge shortage on pumpkin this year. So if you are thinking of doing any baking for Thanksgiving, pumpkin pies, go buy your pumpkin now. There is really not a lot out there. And when there's not a lot out there, what happens? They raise the price, okay? So, just so you know that.
Emily said, I use boar meat.
For me, absolutely. Yep, I could see that. I know where you get it from too, Emily. I know your husband gets it for you. I know that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to brown each side of the pork scaloppini. In the meantime, while that is cooking, I'm just going to take some fresh Italian parsley. Okay, always use the Italian parsley, that has the best flavor. You can use chives in this. When I was at the market earlier, the chives were not looking too good, so I am just using the parsley. But you could certainly use a combination of chives and parsley. Okay. Wash this really, really good. Very important. The way I always kind of do it in the classes or at home even is while things are cooking, I can be prepping and making life easy for when I'm ready to put everything into the dish. Okay. I have some beautiful colored tomatoes here. Always make sure you wash them. Okay, really, really important. Okay, never refrigerate the tomatoes, because if you ever have a refrigerated tomato, you will not taste it. It will be just cold, okay, and just a texture of the tomato. Always keep them room temperature. If they start going bad, you got to use them up pretty quick, okay. I'm going to use some fresh lemon juice. So I took this out about an hour ago. Taking it out an hour ahead of time, it gets the room temperature. You'll get more lemon out of it. If I want to put it in the microwave, I will even get more.
Emily said scallions.
The scallions, you could certainly use scallions, yes. Okay, so I'm just going to have that. That's ready to put some lemon in there. Turn this pork over here. Now, whenever you're cooking pork, if you're doing a pork roast, a pork chop, always cook. If you want medium rare, you want to cook it to 145. If you want medium to medium well starting to get a little dry, that's when you want it to be 160, okay? Yes, Chris?
Rosemary said, I would use scallions too.
Then you guys use scallions. Yes, chives, scallions, it would all be fine, absolutely. I'm going to be adding in a little bit of chicken broth to this. So I make my own with, I just take a little bit of water and just a little bit of this chicken base. You see inside here, it's like a paste, okay? And it has a lot of flavor. I try to do this low sodium because you don't need a lot of salt in this. So by using this, just add a little bit less. When you're making a soup with chicken base, the one that you would get in the supermarket is called Better Than Bouillon. It's 1 tablespoon per quart of water, okay? So then you could just take your fork, just mix that around a little bit. Okay, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna be using some capers. Capers used in Mediterranean cooking. They taste really good with the pork scaloppini. Very good with piccata in a puttanesca sauce. So I have those all reserved on the side. And in a minute, I'm going to start cooking some butter. Okay. So everybody, tomorrow night I am doing, at 5 o'clock, I'm at the Hampton Bays Library. And again, 5 o'clock, and it's on Zoom. So you can go to their page, and I'm making spaghetti muffins. It's like lasagna in a muffin tin. Okay. So I hope you will watch that and go there, and hope you enjoy that. And then Harvest Apple Brownies on Saturday. And that is in Mineola at 11 o'clock. Okay. So this pork It's so you can just feel how tender it really is. Really good. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it onto a baking sheet. Okay, so I want to undercook this just a little bit, and I'm going to leave this in a 250 oven. Okay. And you always want any meat to rest before you cut into it, because that will mean it's very, very tender. Okay.
Diane X, can I leave out the capers?
Can you leave out the capers? Yes. Yes, you can. You know what you could switch it with if you want? Artichoke hearts. Okay, if you like artichoke hearts, they will work really good. I'm just going to put this in the oven just so it stays warm. Okay. Okay, so right now I have that oil getting nice and hot again, so I'm not going to change anything in there, but I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon worth of capers. I actually want to kind of get them just a little bit on the crispier side, and then I want to reduce it down. I want to get rid of any of that liquid in there. But I've got to add a little bit of flavor. Let's flavor some butter, right? Got to get calories into it. I always use the unsalted butter, because that way your recipe is always starting without salt, and then you always know how much to put in. If you only have salted butter at home, don't go out and buy other unsalted butter. Just know that each stick of butter has a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in it. So just take a little salt out then, okay? So I'm just gonna let that cook. Just let it get sizzling. And then I'm gonna add in some dry wine, okay? So dry wine, I'm using vermouth. Okay, vermouth is perfect. It's not expensive and has great flavor for this, okay? I want to kind of roll this around a little bit. Just trying to absorb a little bit of the butter and the oil that was in there. And the capers, they only kind of intensify with the flavor as it kind of reduces down. Okay. And that's just about 1 to 2 minutes that you let that on there like that. Then I'm going to put the 1/2 cup of wine. But I always say with the wine though, never take a wine that you taste and you say, I don't like the taste of it, so I'll use it when I cook. When you cook and you use that wine, you're going to taste that same exact wine, okay? So don't do that. Throw it out, give it to a neighbor, whoever you want to give it to. But don't cook with it, because you're still going to have a bad type of taste in your mouth. Yes?
Julie Williamson X, can I use margarine instead of butter?
You can. Of course, flavor-wise, the butter is going to give a better flavor, but if you're trying to watch calories, you could make it work, okay? Okay, so if you can see in this pan that it's getting nice and crisp, I am going to add in a 1/2 cup of the vermouth. It might have been a touch more, but that way I can get rid of this bottle now, okay? And again, this is really, really cheap. So I'm going to bring this to a boil. And then I am going to add in my chicken broth to this and my lemon juice. Okay, got nice and quiet with adding that in there. About a 1/2 cup of the chicken broth is all you really need. With the lemons, always squeeze it through your fingers. Okay, I'm using the juice of 1 lemon. Yes, I go through a lot of gloves, if anybody out there was asking. So since this is my kind of first live at Sayville virtually, I want to tell you some of the things that I have been doing, Chris and I have been doing together. We've been working a lot together. Good thing we get along, right, Chris?
Yep.
Right? We have done programs upstate New York, all the way up to Niagara Falls now. We love doing it. We've been having fun doing it. We've done Connecticut libraries. We've done New Jersey libraries. We have done a lot in Pennsylvania, And now I probably have about 15 Massachusetts libraries that have called me, and it's been fun, you know. Some nights when you're on there with them, you have to say, oh, you're a Patriots fan, or, you know, when you're a Pennsylvania Steeler fan or something like that. So it's fun playing the little, having fun with them out there. So let me just put in this lemon juice, squeeze it through the fingers, catch any pits. And again, we're going to reduce this down. That way it intensifies with flavor. Okay. Okay, good. And while that is cooking and reducing down, let me just tell you some other things we have been doing. Chris and I started doing some classes in other countries where we teach them a dish and they teach us something. So I've brought some of them dishes to the libraries, and they have taken some of mine and they use them, you know, however, like teaching people private lessons. They do food tours over there. And they said, oh, in all the countries we worked at, the tourism is so down, which you can imagine. But we've done Tuscany in Italy. We have done Rome. We've done Venice. We've also done Santorini, Greece. We made tomato fritters from there, and we also made a Greek tomato, shrimp, and feta cheese dish. And then we did a Hungarian, we were in Hungary, and we did a Hungarian chicken paprikash with dumplings. And then we were in Turkey right before Labor Day, and we did a sesame bread. It's a Turkish bread. It was so delicious. We had 6 loaves of bread that they taught us. They said, you know, it's just like rolls, but their idea of rolls is a whole bread. So we had 6 of them. It was unbelievable. So, but we had a lot of fun doing it, and we'll be doing more. And look forward to bringing those dishes to the library as well. So my spaghetti squash should be getting done soon. While this is cooking, the spaghetti squash is cooking in there. I'm going to go over the acorn squash. The acorn squash, when you cut it, I'm not going to cut this because I'm going away in 2 days and I got to eat down here, okay? But you want to cut it right in the cavity, right here. Split it right through. Be careful of the stem when you're doing that because this is rock solid. So always try to go right around it if you can. And then just kind of twist it. But you want to hold it really firmly as you cut through here, okay? One thing about acorn squash, not much flavor at all in this, okay? That is why you stuff it, you put all different syrups, and you could put maple syrup, you can put honey, cinnamon, nutmeg. I have a YouTube video out there that I just recorded, and it'll be in November. A lot of the libraries will have it. And it is stuffed with apples, walnuts, and dried cranberries. And then it has all the fall spices in there. So a really good dish to serve on Thanksgiving. And yes, Chris?
Patty X, do you have a list of your library classes?
Yeah, if you go to my Facebook page, Simply Creative Chef Rob, it will have until this Saturday, and actually I think tonight, my son and I, tonight or tomorrow, we are going to put up next week's schedule. But just know that I'm not going to be doing any classes until next Thursday night. Next Thursday night, it will be at the Santa Maricia's Library. I'm doing apple pie calzones and pumpkin pie gelata. You're probably wondering, how do you remember all these things? I don't know. It's stuck in here, okay? Got to make sure I got enough pumpkin, though, because they're running out. So, yes.
Emily said the tomato fritters are great. I made them 3 times.
3 times, Emily?
And ProFriend X, which day was it that you were doing a spaghetti squash recipe?
Spaghetti squash? Tonight. Your night is here. You may have just came on a minute or two late, okay? So I'm actually just going to check the spaghetti squash. This is almost halfway reduced down. The more you reduce it down, the more flavor it has. And the one thing about this is that's why you do low sodium chicken broth in a lot of the dishes, because a lot of times it keeps cooking, and that low sodium now is really, really strong, and you taste that salt. Yeah.
Yeah, Pro Fran said yeah.
Okay.
She was on that.
Yes. So, okay, let me check this spaghetti squash.
Patty said, I think she means spaghetti muffins.
Spaghetti muffins tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, Hampton Bays, 5 o'clock, Zoom. Okay? So, if that's your... Okay. All right. So this sauce is nice and reduced. I'm just going to go get the pork. Just by keeping the pork at 250 in the oven, you're not overcooking it. You're just kind of keeping it warm, okay? So I am going to leave that right here, okay? So I am just taking this spaghetti squash, and then what I'm going to do is just kind of scrape this out into little strands, okay?
She said, no, that's not what I meant, but thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. So just take all this spaghetti and just put it out on the plate. Okay. See how it all kind of pours right out there? Remember, it doesn't have a lot of flavor. Okay. But that's why you add something on top of it.
Patricia asks, what cut of pork is used?
What cut of pork? I am using the pork tenderloin, but you certainly could use a boneless pork chop and just pound it out or slice it really thin, okay? Really, really important. So what I'm going to do with this sauce right now is I am just going to take this, I'm just going to pour this into a measuring cup.
Emily said they are awesome, the muffins.
The spaghetti muffins? We did that, Emily, at your library? I forgot if we did that. Boy, I must have cooked some spaghetti because we have 40 people come to your library. Wow. Okay, so I am just going to add just a little drizzle of olive oil to this. Okay, I want to get this nice and hot. And then I am going to put in some of these colored tomatoes. I always love using these colored tomatoes. They do have a nice flavor to them, but they give off such nice color. Okay, you get some of the real black ones in there, the yellow, the red, the light yellow, and then the dark ones. Okay, so these are really, really nice. They're pretty much around all year. I do want to get the oil really hot because when I put these tomatoes in there, I want them to blister, okay? Blister means just kind of break the skin quickly, and then I just put it right on top of the spaghetti squash. I put the pork on top, and then I just drizzle that sauce right over it. And it's really, really good. This dinner would serve about 4 people. Okay. So, what did I not go over, Chris? Did I hit everything?
I think so.
Well, we are doing I came up with this idea, and I'm doing it in a lot of the libraries. And, it's 3 different cookies, and you're going to make it with me. It's on December 12th at 12 o'clock. 3 of my popular recipes, and I'm doing it with multiple libraries, okay? And so I'm trying to make it a really nice, big, fun holiday type event. So I hope you can watch and just mark it down. December 12th at 12 o'clock, okay? Okay, so this oil is nice and hot. And now what I'm going to do, just take these tomatoes, get these nice and hot. Chris always moves back when he hears a sizzle, but I don't blame him. I've gotten him a couple times, right?
Last night.
I got him last night. What were we making last night? What did we make?
Oh, the galette, right?
Yes, the caramel apple galette we made. Yes. That was at Seaford. Okay, so I'm just going to put in a little bit of kosher salt and a little bit of black pepper. And just kind of roll these around a little bit. Yeah.
Patricia X, she said, question, is it possible to let the viewers have a list of what they need in advance to cook with you? In this chat on this Facebook video, the Sayville Library already posted a link for the recipe, so you can get it there.
Okay, so you're basically asking like you would like to cook along with me, right?
Or she just wants a list of the ingredients to cook with them, yeah.
Okay, so the library has everything up there. Typically, most libraries don't have where you cook along with me, but there are a few that do baking. The baking ones can be like that, okay? I have some of the pumpkin pie, like the pumpkin pie scones that we're doing for Sayville next time. I think it's November, if I'm remembering right. Those you will bake along with me, okay? So these are starting to break the skin. Again, like I said, it takes about 2-3 minutes for this.
And also what you could do is go back to this live video in whether it's tomorrow or next week, and this will still be on this Facebook page, or you can go to our page and it'll be on there. So then you can go back and watch it and make it along with us again.
Yeah, and because the Sayville Library and most libraries will leave this up so other people that maybe have missed this, or you may get off and tell your friends, oh, go watch this. So if you're making this for dinner tomorrow, you can just put it on and watch me do it, you know. I don't think you want to watch me twice in a row, but you might, I don't know. Okay, so these are really good right now. I'm just want to keep this pork just a little bit warm. I'm going to throw it into the pan, just really quick.
The Sayville Library posted that on November 19th, it's the pumpkin pie scones, and the registration starts on October 16th.
October 16th, okay, so, yep, sign up for it.
And also...
Yep, Sayville just always, for years, has done so many things. Peter, you've done so much. And now I do a lot with the teens. Marianne is a pleasure to work with. And we got a cookie class coming up with the teens too. So I'm just gonna take this sauce, okay, and just kind of pour it in here. Let everything just heat up really good. And now you can imagine how much flavor is going through that.
And Susan said, made the pumpkin pie scones over last weekend. Everyone loved them. So tasty and moist.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so this is hot. I'm turning off this burner. I am just going to spread out this spaghetti squash just a little bit like that. And then I'm going to start putting the pork right around the outside here. You want to make this as pretty and as colorful as you can. I don't have to put everything on it. I just want to make it look pretty for everybody out there. And now, put some of these colored tomatoes right on top. And now some of this really good sauce. If you like it a little creamier, add a little bit more butter. It will give it a little more creamy type texture to it. I wouldn't add cream, I just add a little more butter. And then just kind of sprinkle a little bit of the fresh parsley around here. Like that, okay? And I'm just gonna hold this up to show everybody. This is what it looks like. Chris, you wanna zoom in on this? And then we'll take whatever questions anybody has.
We got a comment. It says, hi Rob, it's Marianne from the library. And next Wednesday on September 30th, we are sharing your Harvest Apple Brownies for the teens and anyone who wants to view.
And what time is that, Marianne, so everybody knows? What was it?
It's YouTube, right?
YouTube,
So
yes.
it'll just be posted whenever during the day, and you can always access it.
Yep, so go to the Sayville Library and look to see when I'm doing the Harvest Apple Brownies, okay? And you can watch it on there. And I know Marianne and I have a cookie class in, I believe, December, right? Is that chocolate snowstorm cookies, I think? I think that was it. I think I talked you out of chocolate crinkle. Is that right? We switched a few things. I know.
Wait on 1 second. Rosemary said, very nice. Emily asks, can you add cornstarch?
Cornstarch, yes. If you want to add cornstarch to this here to thicken it up a little bit, you can just take about a tablespoon of cornstarch and a tablespoon of water, mix it around really good, and when it's boiling, the water, okay, or I should say all the juices, add it slowly and it'll have a nice glaze to it, if that is the type of texture you want, okay? But scaloppini is usually not like that, but if you want a nice creamy texture, do that.
Let's see. Marianne said 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Diane said perfect. Profan said beautiful, I have to try this. Patty said beautiful, looks delicious. Marianne said yes on our Facebook page. Kate said my stomach is growling, yum. Bob X, can you use chicken instead of pork? And can I get your galette recipe from yesterday?
The galette recipe, what I would say to do is either call or go to the Seaford Library, virtually, go online. They probably have it still up there today. And it was funny because just yesterday I made this huge salted caramel apple galette. It was huge, 12 inches. It had about 4 apples in it, apple pie filling, caramel drizzle on top of it, and then nice fresh dough. I baked it in the oven, and then I was talking to the person that hires me, Kristen over in Seaford, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so hungry now." And I said, "Please, I'd love to give it to you." Now she lives in Nassau County. I live way out in Hampton Bays. I was at Plain Edge Library today for a few minutes. I said, meet me there. We met in the parking lot. I gave her an apple caramel galette, and I said, here you go. It was less for me to eat, so I enjoyed that. Yes?
Rosemary asked, who cleans the curio glass?
Oh, here?
I guess.
Yeah, typically I try to keep the burner away from there because it can get on here, but I'll be doing that tonight, yes. Thanks for reminding me.
Diane said, she asks, is ISIP Library doing any of your classes?
ISLIP?
Yes.
A lot of children's ones, and there's one adult one coming up in a couple weeks. Definitely there is.
And Emily said the hubby is going hunting tomorrow for stag.
Wow. He doesn't stay home, does he?
And Rosemary said, good for you.
Thank you, everybody. If anybody has any other questions, if not, thank you to the Sayville Public Library for watching me. I love doing this. I'm fortunate that I'm doing this every single day. I do it on YouTube, I do it on Zoom, I do it on Facebook, and now just doing it all over all the different states and all that. It's a lot of fun doing it, but there's nothing like in person. Can't wait to pull in your parking lot, Peter, and unload the car. No, I don't miss unloading the car and up and down the stairs. That I don't miss, but we will do it as soon as we're ready. Okay, but for right now, it looks like I think a lot of people are enjoying this and having fun. What I have noticed is we've had some people that I haven't seen in a couple of years that said, we're able to watch you again now. They're either elderly, sick, or the cold weather coming, or after when it's dark at night, they don't go out. So I think virtual and in person could be a nice balance coming up soon.
Let's see. Profran said, I came in late, I had no internet connection. Sayville Library said, thanks, Rob. Rosemary said, thank you. Profran asked, did you bake the spaghetti squash face down?
Yes, and I put a little water in it for about 15 minutes, and I steamed it in the microwave. But you could take the spaghetti squash and just put it upside down in the oven, a little water in the pan, cook it for about 30-35 minutes. Profan, you watch me all the time, and since you came in late, do you want me to redo this class? I will if you want. I will.
Let's see. We have Susan said, "Have a wonderful vacation."
Thank you.
Aunt Prudy said, "Thank you."
Thank you, Aunt Prudy.
Jackica said, "Thanks, looks yummy." Emily said, "Good night, awesome job." And Pat said, "Have a great vacation."
Thank you, everybody. Miss yous all. Thank you to the Sayville Public Library. You guys are awesome. Marianne, Peter, thank you. Jen. Yes, Chris.
Patty said, "Thank you, Chef Robin's son. I love watching you. I love the Facebook platform." And Aunt Prudy said, "Enjoy your vacation." Profriend said, "Hi, yes, have a good night." And Bob said, "Thank you. You're making my pandemic pounds enjoyable." And Diane said, "Oh yes, I agree. Virtual and in person is perfect."
It's a nice balance. Yes. Yep. I agree. Yeah. So times are changing. My son wants to be a kindergarten teacher, and he's actually homeschooling a child this year, and for the superintendent of Hampton Bays, and they said there'll never be a snow day ever again, because when you're at home, it'll be virtual then when it's snowing out. So it's changing every day, right? So we can make it happen. If this happened to us 15, 20 years ago, I don't know what anybody would be doing, you know, there would be no entertainment, you know, but at least virtual we can do it. And go to the Sayville Public Library's website, their Facebook page, because they always have concerts, they always have trivia, they have so many different things going on there, from the children, the teen, the adults. So go to your library, because they're working hard. When I first started doing this, I said, oh, how hard do they work at a library? But now when I in and out of the libraries, you have no idea how the people at the libraries work for you, okay, to bring you all the different entertainment. So you can thank them.
Patty said the library said that they filmed the class so Profran can watch it. Yeah.
Yep. It's just like a repeat. Yep. Okay, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you so much. Stay well. See you for pumpkin pie scones.